I'm a lone jumper.
Okay. Then that should be all right.
Play the clock. Oh, you already know what it is, man. Ooh and Jay, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats of this and that to keep this show on point. And when we're done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey y'all, let's get it poppin'.
What's up, Hood? Talking about Let's Go Minnesota. Welcome to Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell. Come to you live from the Imperial Palace on Black Mania. You know, we celebrating up here on Black Mania because they're going to release the Black Panther movie this week. And everybody knows that all the people from Black Panther are from Black Mania. So Wakanda are Black Manians. So there you go. Wakanda forever. You know what I'm talking about, Herb. Herb know what I'm talking about. Travis don't know nothing about that, Herb. You know Travis. Travis don't know nothing. Travis, let me see you do that one time, Travis. Anyway.
You don't have the power to remove you off this, right?
Herb, what's going on? Herb from the Chocolate City of Washington, D.C. What's happening, Herb?
Not much, man. Doing good. Another beautiful week.
I hear you. How you and your boy, y'all gonna sell that team up there? Miss P in the building. What's up, Miss P? What's up, Tom? Tom, I meant to come see you today, and I messed up. I didn't get in there today. And I tried to buy a ticket for Black Panther on Thursday, but I got doggone FBU practice, so I'm at to see Black Panther Friday night since we're not playing until Friday morning, rather. But we're not playing football till Saturday this week. Oh, speaking of that, just so everybody can see.
Yes, sir.
Hold on.
Look at that baby right there.
That's a beautiful thing right there.
It's pretty. I'm telling you what, this is about the prettiest trophy that you've ever gotten from GHSA. Region 7 and all them A's there. But anyway, there's 7 A's there.
Real quick. 2 things. One, don't hate me. Black Panther comes out this weekend?
Yes, it does.
Awesome. I'm off on Friday. I'm coming on Friday, Tom.
I'm coming Friday too, Travis. Travis, don't come when I'm coming. I'm coming at 10.
How are you going?
Don't let none of your damn business.
Anyway, Coach, so you guys won your region. Obviously, the playoffs are going to be coming up.
Yep, playoffs start this week, and it's a little different, guys. And here, get this. We have to play on Saturday because they don't have enough referees in the state of Georgia to cover, because what happens is when the playoffs come, they use the referees on the chain gangs instead of parents or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they actually have referees do all that stuff. And so because of that, they're having to have some teams play on Saturday instead of playing on Friday. And the reason why we have a shortage of referees is because we got a bunch of dumbass parents out there.
Yes, sir.
So all these parents out there want to threaten referees and all that other kind of stuff. It's very hard. And football is under attack in this country because of, number one, injuries, a bunch of people with head injuries and all that other kind of stuff. And then number two, you have people want to referee because they get threatened by parents out in the parking lot after the game or during the game, and they yelled at and cursed at and all that. And people just like, I'm not doing this. And there are actually places in America right now where they don't play youth football or high school football because they don't have anybody to referee.
Wow.
So, I mean, football is a dying sport in a lot of places. So just keep that in mind. Miss Pierce says, we going to take y'all down because she's a tequila person. And that's who we play this week. North Gwinnett plays tequila. So
Okay.
I've already been told by Mr. Peavy that they will definitely be in the building. We play Saturday at noon at North Gwinnett High School.
Okay.
All right.
So that'd be strange for us because obviously we normally play on Friday nights at 7 o'clock. And so now the sun becomes a factor. So when people punt balls or throw balls or whatever, you have to worry about that sun. So it's a bigger issue than a lot of people might think. So in any event, guys, real quickly, we'll talk about college football here in a little bit. They just had the new rankings, and we'll talk about that. But first of all, I want to do something. Travis, you got your clock. I want you to set your clock for 5 minutes. I'm gonna give us 5 minutes to discuss 2 topics, and we'll go around the table and let everybody get their 2 cents in. But here we go right here.
I'm
The
ready.
first topic is, you ready for Travis? All right, calling Mr. Rooney. What happened to the Rooney rule when the Colts, as you know, fired their head coach, Reich, and then they hired Jeff Saturday? And for the record, I'm going to say this. I love Jeff Saturday. Jeff Saturday is a friend of mine. I've known Jeff Saturday for several years now. He and I have gone out and had a drink together, talked, sat down. I trained with him. I trained the football team when he was the head coach over there at Hebron High School. That's the Hebron Christian Academy, actually, is the real name of the place. But he is now the head coach for the Colts. How does this happen, Irv?
I think it's mostly because it's an interim job. I think it's probably going to be temporary to the end of the season. Now, if he decides to really put a huge effort into it and the Colts turn around their season, then we might have a conversation. But I don't think he's going to have this job till the end of the season is over with, and then I think he's going to go wherever.
Okay, Travis.
I agree. Actually, I heard that because it is in the middle of the season and it is an interim status, the NFL does not require NFL teams to do a Rooney Rule type of, process when just getting an interim coach during the season. So they did not break any rules. They didn't do anything illegal. That's how they're able to do it and just pick basically anyone, aka Jeff Saturday. Though it's actually written in the NFL negotiations rules that you don't have to do it during the season.
Okay. Like Miss Peavy said here, Miss Peavy said, love Coach Saturday. And she knows him, like I said, because he is a local celebrity around here. I mean, there are a lot of us who know him personally. And I mean, I got his phone number in my phone. I call him periodically and talk to him. Like, I'll see something on one of these shows he's on TV, and I'll call him and I'll say, you know what? I didn't really know that worked that way. And we'll discuss it. We'll talk on the phone for 10, 15 minutes about it or whatever, just to keep in touch with each other. So, who is that? Is that you, Travis?
Yeah, that's me.
But in any event, like I said, I love him too, Miss Peavy. I just think that, first of all, I mean, if there is something in the rules that allows this, I think it needs to be changed. Because, I mean, guys, at the end of the day, there are guys out there who think about this. What if there's a guy out there, a minority or anybody who's been in the league for 30 years, who's waiting for his chance to be a head coach? This could be an audition for him. This could be where he's allowed to interview or do whatever. He gets to go over there. He knocks it out of the park. And even if they don't want him because they want to go another direction or whatever, it at least gives him an audition and a chance to, let other teams see how good he is as a coach to get him a head coaching job. I mean, it's almost like, Ursay is saying, I'm basically going to play the rest of the year with Monopoly money. It's just going to be a game. And I mean, with some of these guys, while he's sitting up here playing Monopoly money, these are their careers that we're talking about. Because, I mean, you're not going to tell me that, it's only halfway through the season. I mean, if somebody could turn that thing around, maybe make it somehow to the playoffs or whatever the case may be, and just do anything to impress somebody, he might be a millionaire by being able to do that. And instead, and I love Saturday. This ain't about Saturday. This is about the NFL and the process. If you have a loophole that allows somebody to do this and bypass the Rooney Rule, but my thing is, what if Irv, at the end of the season, he does do a bang-up job, and now they say, okay, well, since he did such a good job, he's going to let him keep going.
And that's the thing. I truly think that's the only option that will keep him on as the head coach going further, is if he just does a bang-up job. But I think they just hired him because he's familiar with the area, he's familiar with the culture, he's familiar with the team.
I'm with you. I got you. Very good. I'm going to ask this question, though. So that means that now you set the standard, or you set the precedent that if you want to bypass the Rooney Rule, just make somebody interim and then hire him the next year.
Right. And then that's what the theory is going forward. Like, same situation. Like, let's just say the Falcons just say, hey, Mike Vick, you want to just finish out the season for us? And Mike Vick just all of a sudden is one of the best coaches that they ever had. You got that situation going forward. So, like, you have a point there. So, I mean, it's kind of hard.
I just, and again, like I said, nothing. Go ahead, Travis.
No, it's 5 minutes.
Oh, that's 5 minutes? Okay. All right, so we'll move on to the next topic. We'll talk about that topic again some other time. Topic number 2. If the season ended today and you were going to vote for MVP, would it be Hurts, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Micah Parsons? Travis. Or somebody else.
No, I think those are probably the best choices. The only other choice you could make is Allen. But I would probably go Hurts.
After the game I saw Allen play the other day, I wouldn't say so, but go ahead.
I think I would go Hurts. Quarterback of the number 1 team. He's having a fantastic year. Every game he's putting up numbers and he's making spectacular plays. I can see an argument for just about every other one of the guys you listed, but I think Hurts would be the best option.
Oh, Miss Peavy doing that Miss Hood thing. She talking about Micah Parsons for her. Here we go.
I can't take a defensive player unless they're like undefeated.
That's our Julio. That's our Julio right there, Miss Peavy. I can tell Miss Peavy that's your Julio Jones. Like Miss Hood, love us some Julio. She said that only because she's a Cowboy fan. Hood says he would vote for the Minnesota quarterback for the MVP right now. He talking about Kirk Cousins.
The fact that you don't know who Kirk Cousins is, I can't vote for
I know, but understand this. Y'all need to understand this. Anytime you see something from Richard Hood written on here, understand he drinks moonshine like daily. Like he from the hills of North Carolina, and I'm talking about he just drives over there almost daily and picks up some fresh hooch, and they call it hooch, and brings it back. So just know that anytime you see any comment coming from Richard Hood,
that's terrible.
Oh, what would you say?
What do you think?
This is very difficult, man, because a lot of these guys have had some terrible games.
Yep.
Except Jalen Hurts. But technically, would you give it to Jalen Hurts or the new guy, A.J. Brown? Because A.J. Brown has been playing out of his mind since joining Philly, and it's been a lot better with playing with Hurts than over Tannehill.
Yeah, but it's a wide receiver, and A.J. Brown would have to have an unbelievable record-breaking season to get the MVP. Statistics, yeah. And actually, the best statistic wide receiver probably right now is Tyreek Hill. He's on pace for over 2,000 yards this season.
But he only has 3 touchdowns, and A.J. Brown had that in one game.
I understand.
I'm with you. I agree. And he's double covered just about every play.
Pretty much.
But I will say this, and I know we're approaching the 5-minute mark, and I'm not just saying this, but because somebody already said it, but I would take Michael Parsons. I'm gonna tell you right now. I look, he is a generational player. I don't know that, he's right now. Some of the stuff that he does is beyond Lawrence Taylor. Like, I mean, he is like putting his own stamp on the league. I think he said go pick a losing quarterback. All them quarterbacks, none of them quarterbacks losing, Richard. I mean, all them quarterbacks, man, every one of them teams in good shape that I just mentioned. Like I said, go back to the hooch. But in any event, I think that as far as impacting a game, nobody impacts a game like Michael Parsons does. I mean, dude, that man is a straight monster. So, Miss Peavy, I'm gonna side with you on that. I'm gonna go with Michael Parsons would be my MVP at this point anyway. So, and then again, I think you can kind of say what you want to say. Let's talk about the good, bad, and the ugly. You get to pick a good, whatever topic, whatever it is, whatever you think is good at this point, a bad and an ugly. For instance, and I gave an example. Good for me would be Snyder selling that team, Herb. I think that's good for the NFL.
And that would have been mine. You stole it.
Bad is that bad man. He is playing some bad football right now. Aaron Rodgers is bad. And ugly is Andy Dalton. Lord have mercy. If you saw him playing that game yesterday with the Saints versus the Ravens, I mean, oh my God, he had to do wide open in end zone, overthrew him. I mean, wide open. I mean, he threw it over his head. I mean, standing there. The one he moving. And so that's my good, bad, and ugly example. I got some more good, bad, and ugly that I'm going to put up here in a second. Travis, what about you?
Yeah, I'll start off good. I'm actually not going to go with a team. I'm going to go with a player. Derrick Henry's lighting it up this year. He is going ballistic. He had over 200 yards last week.
Who they play?
Yesterday, he had 120 and 2 touchdowns.
Who they play?
Last week it was the Houston Texans. This past week they played the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
He's been fantastic this year. Bad. Yeah, Green Bay, just as a whole, they look awful this year. They look terrible, so dysfunctional. And ugly. How about the Raiders, right? Everyone thought they were going to be, they were a playoff team last year. They bring in Devontae Adams. They basically have the whole team from last year, and they're terrible. They are 2-6 right now, and not even close to making a playoff spot.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll do Raiders. Just the entire team of the Raiders is ugly.
Travis, that ain't bad. I'm proud of it. That was actually pretty good. I'm gonna give my good. Yeah, I'm gonna give my good to some of these young African American quarterbacks. I mean, if you look around the league right now, I mean, they're lighting it up. When you look at Tua, you look at Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. I mean, a lot of these young guys are really, really blossoming. Patrick Mahomes, a lot of these young African American quarterbacks are really, really, and we knew it was coming as far as them changing the position, and especially like with Lamar Jackson, the way he runs things and whatnot. I mean, he's basically unstoppable. I mean, he really is. It's going to take a really, really good defense to shut him down and stop him, and a really good coach to figure out how to do it. So, but like I said, I think that's my good. My bad is the scoring. I mean, watching games where the score is like 17-3. I'm tired of that. I mean, there were so many games this week, and we'll go over here when we go over games here in a little bit, where Joker didn't score. Neither team scored 3 touchdowns. I mean, both teams were below like 21. What, Travis?
There were 3 games that were 20-17 of the final score.
That's what I'm saying, 3. And then you had some other games where here's a 15-9. Yeah. Lions and Packers. 15-9. Where's another one I had? 16-13. Buccaneers and Rams. I mean, just awful. I mean, and it was another one I think somebody only scored damn 3 points. Oh, here we go, Colts.
26
Colts and Patriots, 26-3. I mean, I'm tired of seeing that. That's just awful. I mean, I'm glad Irsay fired that cat anyway. I mean, you can't score but 3 points in a game, and you're supposed to be an offensive minded head coach. Man, get your ass out of here. I mean, that's terrible. That's terrible. And then, what was my ugly? I can't think what my ugly was now because I was so stuck on the bad. Go ahead, Irvin. I remember my ugly here in a minute, but go ahead.
So my good most definitely was the fact that your boy
Snyder gotta go. Yeah.
Listen, that's been a prayer for the last 15 years.
I hear you.
Finally, it's coming true. Can I add another level of good on that one?
Come on.
Whew. Another good thing is, man, like as much as we hate quarterbacks, there's certain quarterbacks who are playing very well that have no business playing very well. As much as we hate Geno Smith, he's playing solid football.
I forgot about Geno. You're right about that.
When I go to the bad, why are all the good quarterbacks just terrible? I started to use them for my ugly, but I got a worse ugly. All the quarterbacks that are either Hall of Famers, every year Pro Bowlers, big time stat getters are playing like complete trash right now.
They are. Amen.
It is bad.
You're right about that.
Now let's get to the ugly.
Come on.
Let's just be honest. This year in football is just ugly as a whole. There's really no excitement in football because every single game, like you alluded to in your bad, the scores are just ugly.
It's ugly.
Like it's good. It's a little bit good because if you really like defense, the defenses are showing up.
Yeah.
But normally you would have like a balance where offense is like doing something here and there. Defense is doing something here.
I think we lost him. I think we lost Irv. My thing is what Irv is saying though. It's not even that the defenses are playing that good. It's just the offenses are playing so bad. I mean, the offenses are just terrible. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is, but the offenses are just playing so bad. I mean, really bad. So, my ugly was going to be the way that all of these so-called good teams that we thought were out there, kind of what you said, Travis, thought the Raiders were going to be better, thought Brady was going to be able to make another Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, thought the Cowboys were going to be, and they still may be, but everybody thought they were going to be better than they are. It's just so many teams that we thought.
Rams.
Thought the Rams. Thank you. I was going to say that. The Rams. Thought the Chargers. Everybody thought that kid for the Chargers was going to be a damn MVP candidate. That's what I'm saying. It's just that all that hype around all those teams, and it's just like you said, or maybe Irv said, it's just disastrous how bad those teams are playing right now. I mean, total disaster the way those teams are playing. So that would be my ugly as far as the season is concerned.
And you want to know part of the reason?
Tell me why.
Parody.
Yeah, I don't like to use that word. I don't know that it's parody because, I mean, you know, when you say parody, everybody wants to think that everybody's good. Parody could also be that everybody's bad. I mean, that's parody. I mean, parody is just we're all even. So, I mean, that doesn't mean that that's a good thing when you have parity. I mean, like I said, because right now, I mean, I wouldn't dare try to pick who a Super Bowl winner would be at this point in the season. Because, I mean, everybody is jacked up. Even the teams that are winning, sometimes are barely winning. So, I mean, like I said, I wouldn't dare say that there's any team out there I'm crazy about because, you know, the Falcons were, 4-4, 4-5 last week or something like that.
4-5 now.
Leading their division. Yeah, they were 500, 4-4, and leading their division at 4-4. I mean, happy as could be at 4-4, and 4-4 is the definition of mediocrity. And you're happy and winning your division with over some mediocrity, and I think that's terrible. So moving right along, Eagles and Texans. Eagles 29, Texans 17. Again, guys, I don't think there's much to talk about here. Y'all are welcome to join me if you want. We already talked about Jalen Hurts. And, Davis Mills is the quarterback for the Texans, kid that I used to coach and train right out of here in Gwinnett County. Went to Stanford, had a mediocre career at Stanford. He didn't play that much until I think his senior year or so. But, wound up getting drafted and by the Texans. And now he's their starting quarterback after the whole Lamar gate and everything. Not Lamar, I'm sorry. What's the name from up there in Gainesville?
Deshaun Watson.
Thank you, Deshaun Gate. That massage gate, whatever you want to call it. Colts 3, Patriots 26. Does this necessarily mean that the Patriots are back, Travis?
No, not at all. I think the Colts are in shambles. This tells me nothing about the Patriots other than the Colts aren't very good.
Yeah, can somebody get Richard to talk about somebody other than Minnesota? That's all Richard want to talk about, Minnesota. What do you think about the Patriots? Or they back in it?
No, they just caught the Colts at the right time.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody been catching the Colts at the right time. I think any time is the right time to play the Colts right now.
Yes.
It was a shocker. Packers 9, Lions 15. Was it really a shocker though at this point in the season? Travis?
I'm gonna go with a little bit of because this is still Detroit. We're talking about who got the win, right?
Yeah.
They'd won one game all season going into this game. So I know Green Bay's playing really bad, but this is still Detroit, and I think they said this is the first time he's ever lost to Detroit. Aaron Rodgers has, so it's still a shocker.
Did you see how Aaron Rodgers was throwing the ball? Dude,
I agree. He was terrible.
I mean, he was on his back foot throwing the ball like a frisbee.
Jason and I were watching the game, and we both said in the third quarter, like, he's just throwing up ducks just to basically get out of playing right now.
It looks like he don't want to even play.
Yeah, he doesn't care anymore.
He doesn't care.
Like that. Never.
He doesn't care at all.
No.
But the crazy thing is, you gave a guy who has never had an interception in his life his first in Hayden Hutchinson.
And he can tell everybody it was from you.
And it was from one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
And it basically saved the game too.
Yes.
It was in the end zone. It literally saved the game.
Richard said he's done. But Richard, we know what Richard's doing right now. Chargers 20. This broke my heart. If you saw this game. Chargers 20, Falcons 17. I was heartbroken. Miss Peavy, for you and Mr. Peavy, I was so distraught. And I know Tom. Tom was a big Falcon fan too, Tom. So, Tom, we are so sorry. I was going to come in and talk to you about it, maybe have a drink and share a drink with you over how distraught I was over the Falcons losing. But again, last week, the Falcons were leading their division. I mean, do the Falcons really have a chance to win their division?
I have to say yes.
I still think they do, yeah. Because they're still technically tied with Tampa Bay right now. The Tampa Bay just has them in
head-to-head.
They played head-to-head, and Tampa Bay won the first game.
Yeah.
And it was at Tampa Bay. So, they're going to have to come to Atlanta. Not saying that's the hardest place in the world to play, but they still got to play one more time.
Wait a minute.
And Tampa Bay, again, still has the harder schedule being a first-place team last year than what Atlanta does for the rest of the season.
Travis, I want you to slowly put up Mr. Peavy's two things one at a time so everybody can see him.
Nobody wants to see that.
That is a true Falcon fan right there. You can I'll do it again, Travis. Just look at the picture of that man right there. That is a Falcon fan if I have ever seen one. I mean, if that joker there don't look like he is either on his way out or on his way to Magic City. I mean, you just look at that face right there. I'm just telling you right now, Lord have mercy. That's why you got to love a Falcon fan, boy. Tied for first. Tied for first. That's your husband, Miss Peavy. That is your husband. Don't tell me nothing. I can't wait to see y'all Saturday, though. That's going to be fun. Bills 17, Jets 20. I mean, obviously, this was the shock of the day, but maybe not so much. Travis, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think the shock of the day was Detroit over Green Bay, but I think this was second shocker of the day. I'm still not sold on the Jets to do anything in the playoffs. I think they got a good team. I'll take it. I think they got a solid team. Like, they have talent, but Zach Wilson's still their quarterback, and Breece Hall's done for the season. So
they're not even the story to me. Go ahead, Irv.
I don't care what y'all say. That defense coming off the bus is scary.
Coming off the bus, yeah, they look good on the hoof. I'm gonna give you that, guys. There's something wrong with Josh Allen's arm. I mean, either that or he owes somebody in the mafia a lot of money because the interceptions that he threw, he was throwing the ball right to somebody on the other team.
They said there was a report coming out. I think it was yesterday that they're scanning his UCL or something.
UCL,
something wrong with it.
Yeah,
UCL, and it's in his elbow. And they're saying it might be his elbow. But I'm telling you right now, if you saw the way he was throwing those interceptions, it's like either he's hurt or he's throwing this game. Because there were receivers wide open, and he's throwing the ball like 5 yards away from them to somebody else. I mean, it was bad. So Ms. Peavy says she's going with he owes somebody a lot of money. I mean, if you saw those interceptions, Ms. Peavy, I mean, I'd like somebody need to get the damn FBI to investigate this shit because ain't no way in the hell he could be that bad.
Well, Coach,
he's throwing.
You know what they call the Bills fan base, right?
Yeah, the Bills Mafia.
Bills Mafia.
Good point.
Bills Mafia. I'm with you, Travis. All right, moving right along. Richard, are you ready? Vikings 20, Commanders 17. Go ahead, Richard. Tap dance on Irvin. Travis, what you got?
I'm actually going to talk about the fact that Washington blew this game. They had this game in the bag. They were up 10 points in the fourth quarter, right, Irv? I'm not trying to rub it in, but I think that they were up 10 in the fourth quarter. Like, you got this game in the bag, and they let this game slip away.
Minnesota scored the very first drive and didn't get past our 40-yard line until the last two drives of the game.
Wow.
When the offense basically gave the game away.
You know what they say? I'm going to say there's two things that normally come up in these circumstances. They'll say, number one, you don't know how to win. And then they'll say, number two, you were playing not to lose instead of playing to win. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, poor Herb. Miss Peavy, look at you. Oh, so Miss Peavy on you hard, Herb. And I don't know why she's a Falcon fan. She lost just as bad what I saw. They lost with the last kick. So I don't know why she's trying to celebrate like she did something. Miss Peavy, you and Mr. Peavy, I know. You had a loss too.
Oh, I got a question.
What's up?
You may know this because it's you listen to radio down there or whatever, but just from what I see, I like Brian Robinson. I think he's a really good running back. Young guy, like, can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's big, he can take a hit, right, and keep going. But every time I see him play, it's Antonio Gibson every single play, right? Like, they just don't give Robinson the ball enough, in my opinion. And he seems like that type of guy that needs the ball 10 to 15 times to really get him going, right? Like, you got to beat on him and beat on him and beat on him, and then he's going to get his yards that way. But they just don't seem to do it. It's like, what's the word on why they're not giving him the ball? Is it because he was shot and they're still trying to bring him up? Or, like, I know it's been about 4 or 5 weeks since he's been playing.
Yeah, so the one issue is the original idea that they wanted to go with was 50% running, 50% passing. Okay. Now they're at the point where they're doing 70% passing, 30% running. So when Robinson actually gets going and gets the feel, and you'll see him break like a nice 8-9 yard run, and he's feeling a nice little momentum. Now they got to chuck up 2 more passes for some reason. Like, you got to keep it going. Like, the number one rule, and coach, you probably know this for sure. We do it in basketball. I'm just gonna keep doing it until you can stop it.
Ain't no doubt. That's probably the rule in coaching and everything, or whatever the sport is. It's like, if you can't stop me, I'm just gonna keep it going. We put one time I was at Mill Creek, and we were playing against I won't say who we were playing, but a team that we really didn't like, and we were from the sideline saying, "Run it again."
Yes.
I mean, no secret. Is it like, we know you cannot stop it, and we just kept saying, "Run it again" from the sideline. I wanted them to know what it was.
And it's frustrating because I don't know what Washington's coaching staff mentality is, because I can go back to the Dallas game. They've been running sideline to sideline instead of running straight up the middle at those big crazy guys. They were getting big yards just running outside. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden they ran 10 plays back to back up the middle, got no yards.
Yeah.
The mentality of these coaching staffs that come through here, it's just a lost cause.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
And I like you talked about, with their 70% or close to 70% passing, Antonio Gibson is the pass catching running back.
Him and McKissick.
And McKissick, right? You know, they don't have Robinson go out for passes, probably because he's a rookie, right? And McKissick and Gibson are good at that. I think they're wasting Robinson because I think he's a good young running back, and I think they just should be giving him the ball a little bit more.
Well, I'm sure the people in Dallas feel the same way. We'll talk about them here in a little bit. But is that not right?
Yeah, stuff like that's not going to change. But you look at Tony Pollard right now. Like, you want to get Tony Pollard the ball more than you want to give Ezekiel Elliott.
Hey, real quick.
Oh, Lord. See.
That's your boy. That's your boy, Hood. He got some hooch in him, too. That's Kirk Cousins right there. That's Kirk Cousins. He definitely got some hooch in him.
That's his boy. He like that?
Yeah, they tore that plane up. That's him. That's your boy, Hood. Hood probably sent him that hooch. Did you send him that hooch, Richard?
He like that.
That's sad. Anyway, moving right along. Again, I hope whoever takes him over immediately changes their name. Panthers 21, Bengals 42. Dude, I don't even know why they letting the Panthers play. Who was the quarterback, Travis? Was it Baker Mayfield?
It started out PJ Walker, and then they were down 35-0 at halftime, and they put Baker in.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, God bless him. Hey. If you've ever been to that stadium, I'm not crazy about that stadium either. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like that damn Washington Stadium. I mean, and the thing about it is,
it's worse.
Everything else around there is nice. I mean, it's a nice city.
Yeah.
But when you get to the stadium, you're like, ugh. I mean, it's a stain right now to me. I think they could use some new ownership as well. Once again,
wait, I got something to say about my Bengals real quick.
Oh, please go ahead.
5 seconds for the 5 touchdowns that Joe Mixon had. Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
First player in Super Bowl era history with 5 touchdowns and 200 yards, scrimmage yards. Congratulations. Okay.
Congratulations, Joe Mixon. You did it against the little Sarah's Sisters of the Blind. All right. Raiders 20. Jaguars 27. Irvin's so happy that one of his teams won. Was that their 4th win? What are they, 4-6?
I'm just happy I can come on the show and y'all not dogging about
the like Travis said, the performance of the Raiders, I mean, they've just been a disaster. Ever since the whole John Gruden thing, it just seemed like it just gets worse and worse. So I don't know what to say about them other than that. This was somewhat of a surprise to me. Dolphins 35, Bears 32. And I think everybody saw what's the name, the quarterback for the Bears?
Justin
Justin
Fields.
Fields.
Justin Fields, thank you. He had a stellar day running up and down the field, throwing the ball, looking really, really good. I this is why I hate fans, because one day everybody's talking about how Justin Fields is dog poo poo, and then the next day after he has a game like that, they're saying, "Oh, he's the future quarterback of the franchise." You know, I mean, I don't think you can just switch gears like that. And just because he had that one performance, and don't get me wrong, I'm hoping that he continues to play that way. But it just shows you how fickle fans are and people are. So let's see, Miss Peters said she couldn't agree with me more, or she said Irv about Pollard. He does need to pass block better. That's what Pollard's problem is, she's saying. Zeke does a better job with that. So that's what Miss Peters said about why they don't play Pollard more.
Zeke can't stay on the field.
Also, yeah. I'll say this about what you brought up with Justin Fields. Anyone that's watched this show for the last year to year and a half knows I've been pretty critical of Justin Fields. I don't think he's very good, especially for an NFL starting quarterback. I'll give him credit for Sunday. He played a good game on Sunday. He threw some really nice passes. They had a good game plan. He protected the ball. Like he looked like an NFL quarterback on Sunday.
What have I said since day one on this thing? Until a quarterback gets in this thing for about 5 years, y'all stop putting all this, oh, he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. He's going to a Super Bowl. He's going to win 10 Super Bowls in his career. Man, you don't know nothing about these kids. I mean, it's a lot of these kids. What's that boy's name that was out there in L.A. a few years ago? Now he's a quarterback for the Lions. What's his name?
Oh,
Jared
Goff.
Who?
Goff.
Goff. Thank you, Jared Goff. And everybody about to make him the best thing since sliced bread. And now that joke about to be unemployed. He's about to be somebody's backup here shortly. I mean, it just goes that fast. And I mean, just like this guy's supposed to have a big year this year, the quarterback for the Chargers. What's his name? Herbert. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Dude, I mean, he'll be on his way to the damn unemployment line here shortly. And everybody talking about he's going to be the league MVP this year. I think he had the highest odds in Vegas that he's going to be the damn MVP of the league. And that joker can't damn hold a cup of water right now. I mean, terrible. All right, moving on. Let's see. Seahawks, 31. Cardinals, 21. It's few teams I like less than the Cardinals. I just don't like little Chucky. I don't like him, the quarterback. I just don't like his demeanor. He doesn't do it for me. But so I'm glad to see that he lost. I like to see him lose all the time. I think the biggest story is Geno doing what he's doing out there. Russell left him a gold mine. Russell left him a gold mine. What do you think?
100%. 100%. You got a beast of a rookie running back that's showing out.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got Lockett and Metcalf. Metcalf is not having a good year right now.
Yeah, he's not.
But yeah,
fantasy team.
Mine too. But I
thought that Metcalf might be traded. I thought that he might be some trade bait.
He was on the trading block at the beginning of the season. That's what the reports were. But now they're having a good year. Yeah.
I think Irv froze again, Travis.
Yeah.
So I hate that. I mean, I like him. I like Metcalf, but he needs to get his stuff together. So like I said,
I think just real quick, no one expected Seattle to do this, right?
No,
I think you really got to consider Pete Carroll as coach of the year.
I agree.
Probably number one. The number one choice right now. So
well, we'll see how they finish out the season.
Agreed, but for right now, I think he's probably the leading candidate.
I'll give that to you. Rams 13, Buccaneers 16. Again, you want to talk about a boo-boo of a game when you're expecting, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady, Julio Jones. I mean, you got all these names, all these high-profile names and whatnot, and then you have a doggone raggedy-ass score and raggedy game like that.
That game was the worst. That was terrible. I want to know why where's this the Rams and the Super Bowl hangover talk at?
Oh, dude, that's bad. They need to be talking about because
I agree, but no one's talking about it. But they need to be because they look 10 times worse than what they did last year in the playoffs. So if there's either one of those two teams in the Super Bowl that was a fluke, right now it's looking like it's the Rams.
Yeah, I agree. The Rams have been a huge disappointment. I mean, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if obviously the head coach has to take the brunt of it because you can't have your team playing the way that his team is playing. I mean, it's just really bad. What do you think, Herb?
Yeah, 100%. It's just ugly to look at the moment.
And I honestly think part of it is when you watch the Rams play offensively, at least, every play it's see how we can get Cooper Kupp the ball.
Yes.
Like, it is nothing else other than get Cooper Kupp the ball. And if you double team that dude, I know he's a good wide receiver, but you double team him, you can shut him down.
How much have
Stafford is not looking at anybody else.
They got 75 different formations they use to try to get him the ball. I mean, they got him running sweeps. They're throwing him screens. They're throwing him flag routes, posts. Like Travis said, they got all kind of picks they're setting for him to get open, and it's just ridiculous.
It's ugly football.
It's really ugly.
Titans 17, Chiefs 20. Let me just say this, and then I'm gonna let y'all take it. When you have a quarterback throwing the ball 68 times in a game, that's not the formula for winning.
Nope.
Just like Irv said a few minutes ago. And Irv, it's not just them coming in that way. Every coach would like to come in and do 50-50 run pass. Because that way the defense doesn't know what to do. They don't know what personnel to put in because you're just killing ass both ways if you're able to keep a ratio of 50-50. That's one of the things we check at halftime. Where is our ratio? Because we need to work on our ratio. We got to stop throwing the ball every down. We need to go back and run it more, whatever. So everybody looks at their ratio at halftime and tries. Now, like you said earlier, if it's that the run game is just killing them, we're just going to keep running the ball. If the pass game's killing them, we can keep passing the ball. But ideally, you like to be 50-50. So everybody tries to be 50-50. But for a quarterback, especially a pro quarterback, to throw the ball 68 times, I mean, dude, that's insane. I know he had over 400-yard passing, but 68 times throwing the ball, I mean, that's ridiculous. Travis.
No, I agree, and that's why I don't see the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl again this year. Like, that formula is not going to work in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
I agree.
And it's just not going. I don't care how good Patrick Mahomes is. It's just not going to work. Second thing, Titans side. If they had Tannehill, I think they win that game. And I'm not dissing Malik Willis. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I just think he's a young quarterback. He's a rookie.
He's bad. He's still bad. He's young and he's bad.
But I think he can get there. He's just not there yet. And if Tannehill doesn't get back, they're not going to go anywhere in the playoffs with Willis. But Henry's a monster. You got to find a way to give that guy 30 touches.
I agree. Ms. Peavy, everybody has incentives in their contract. So he definitely, Cooper Kupp has incentives that, the more touchdowns he scores, the more yards, more catches. Every wide receiver has that in their contract. There'll be some number attached to that. Like they might say, if you get over 1,000 yards, that's another $100,000. If you make it to the Pro Bowl, that's another amount. If you make it to, first team all pro, that's another. So they have all kind of incentives like that. So yeah, the more he produces, the better off he's going to be. Irv, what you got?
Yeah, and the one thing I didn't like about the overtime either, Derrick Henry didn't touch the ball at all. Like They didn't
Yeah.
stop Derrick Henry the entire game, and then all of
No.
a sudden at the end of the game, you just went away from it. Like,
And see, the thing about it is, if you're losing by a lot, that's one thing. But they apparently weren't losing by that much because
They had the lead the entire game basically, and the
then they-
Chiefs scored with like a minute left to tie the game.
yeah,
Like they had the lead the entire game.
right. All the more reason why you should continue to run it to keep them from having it.
And I know they were stacking the box because, or you saw it that they, I'm sure they were putting 9 guys in the box, and I get that. But in the fourth quarter, it didn't matter. Every time Derrick Henry touched the ball, if he broke one tackle, he was getting 7-8 yards a touch.
Right.
he had like 9 carries for 100 yards in the first half.
In the first half.
Why do you have 9 carries?
I know.
Like,
And 2 touchdowns.
I didn't watch all of it. I saw some of it. I was watching for Kansas City, though. I'm a Kansas City fan. As far as I like the way they play, I like the offense they run. Last but not least, and I did not watch this at all because I'm not a fan of Lamar, and I'm not a fan of the Saints when Bradley Roby's not playing, and he's injured right now. Ravens 27, Saints 13. I did see the highlights, and I did see Lamar being Lamar. And, dude, when Lamar's back there with that ball like this, and he tucks it and runs it, and then he's still behind the line of scrimmage, he pulls it back up, and he's doing all that kind of stuff, he is difficult to stop. Because once you jump and leave your feet, and he just runs by you and makes you look like a total idiot, I mean, he is really, really good at doing that kind of stuff. Do I think that he can do that all the way to a Super Bowl victory? No. But it will work as far as them probably winning their division and things of that nature. Yes. Yes. Travis, what you think?
Yeah, I didn't watch much of this game. I fell asleep in about the second quarter. I thought it was going to be more competitive than it was, though. I really thought this home game for the Saints. I know the Saints aren't the greatest, but Monday Night Football home game, I thought they'd get up for this, and Baltimore just beat them out of the building.
Yeah, they did.
Good win for Baltimore.
Irv, your team, your third team.
From what the Saints has been putting on tape, I knew Baltimore had no business making this game as close as it was. It should have been more than that.
I agree with that. I will say this, Travis, I don't know if you know this, but Sunday Night Football, we were supposed to be seeing Cincinnati and the Steelers.
Not this Sunday, the next one. Yeah.
Oh, this next one. Okay. They have now changed that to where we'll be seeing the Chiefs and the Chargers.
Yep.
So apparently somebody's been watching this show and knows we are upset with the programming. And I don't know why they haven't been doing this shit long time ago. Well, so hats off to whoever made that decision, though. Roger Goodell, I'm glad you finally answered my answer machine, that voicemail I left on your answer machine. Yes, sir.
So 2 things about this. One, I think this has actually a lot more to do with the fact that Pittsburgh's obviously not very good this year, right? What?
I said there's no doubt.
And 2, the really interesting thing is this puts the Chiefs in, I think, their 5th or 6th primetime game of the season.
Yeah.
They cannot be in another primetime game after the Chargers game for the rest of the season. So any game that they have after the Chargers game cannot be flexed back to a Sunday Night Football game. So I just think that's kind of interesting because they do have a few other games left in the season that I know they play the Bengals one more time, like the second to last week of the season. And look, I'm not saying that's the hardest game of the season, but that's AFC Championship rematch, right? I would have thought that would have been a flex game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they play Baltimore again once this year still. So, but now they cannot be flexed into a Sunday night game for the rest of the season.
Wow. Well, I know, but they'll still be on some primetime something. I bet you somewhere. They're just. I mean, the thing about it is they have a very fun to watch type of a team and offense and everything.
Right.
Yeah, that's the big thing about them.
But they sure do love to put them on primetime, though.
Oh, ain't no doubt. That's when
every other week they're on primetime.
That's about making that cheddar, baby. Making that cheddar. So anyway, all right, going back to let's change gears a little bit because most of us were watching the top five just now. If you were watching the top five, uh, Georgia's number one, Ohio State's number two, Michigan's number three, and TCU is number four. Travis, talk to him about TCU being number four.
Look, I said it 2 weeks ago when we talked about who we thought was going to make it, and I said I think all TCU has to do is stay undefeated, and they're going to be in the Final Four, right? And
I hope they do. I just hope. Yeah, Miss Peavy, I agree. I agree.
They're already 4 right now. If they go undefeated, there's no way they don't make it.
Tennessee was number 5, Miss Peavy, and I think they had Oregon at number 6.
Oregon was 6. Look,
Oregon
again,
number 6.
TCU's already 4. If they run the table, they're in. I don't care.
Alabama is now number 9.
Clemson's like 11 or 12. Yeah.
And no, Clemson's 10.
They 10.
Whatever.
Yeah, Clemson's
11, 10, whatever.
Well, the same thing. I know you ain't talking about no 11, 10, whatever, because I said shit about 25. I said that about 25, and you was all like, oh, no, it's important to be number 25 because you can get all this. Man, I told you. I asked Jason. I have said for years, after about number 6, I don't want to hear it. All the teams are the same. Because anybody after number 6, it don't even matter. Especially when you're talking about this damn college football playoff thing they done established.
Look, I'll say the team that I think you got to watch out for, I'll give you 2, is and it's not Tennessee. I think Tennessee's in a real bad spot. But Ole Miss and LSU, if one of those 2 teams wins out, they're going to be in a really good spot. Really good spot.
I don't know if they can win out. And
I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can. But
winning out is going to include winning the SEC championship. Because, I mean, the bottom line is that they're going to have to win the SEC championship, too.
I know.
So, that's going to be tough.
I mean,
that's going to be tough.
And I don't know if anybody's going to beat Georgia. And not in the SEC championship anyway.
I just don't know how – I find it real difficult to put Tennessee in, even if they run the table, when they didn't even win their division, let alone the conference.
I'm gonna say this to you. I'm not damn Tennessee. I'm not talking about Tennessee. I'm gonna tell you this. I pray to God that somehow these people can stay, and they can. I know they can, because Michigan and Ohio State got to play each other. So one of them gonna knock the other one out.
Absolutely.
We know they're not gonna stay 2 and 3, but I wish they could. So that somehow TCU could play Georgia. And then after that, just give me a big-ass bowl of popcorn and then just enjoy that just damn straight up. They'll have to install another digit on the scoreboard because 2 digits ain't going to hold them. I'm going to tell you that right now. They might have to put a 4th digit on that damn scoreboard because that's just going to be a straight gully whopping they're going to get if they have to play Georgia. I would love to see TCU play Georgia. I mean, dude, it ain't even a con. If I was that coach for TCU, Lord, please. Listen, I know we wanted to win, but we didn't want to win this bad. So you can I promise you that. He don't want that. He don't want that right. Let number 1 and number 4 wind up being Georgia at 1 and TCU at number 4. And let's see how that plays out. Dude, I'm telling you now, good God Almighty. I mean, they better have a mass unit on the sideline. There is no way a team like TCU is going to play with a team like Georgia. No way. It ain't going to happen. Not. So I'm tired of all this old small ball shit and everybody afraid that if you don't put TCU in there, everybody's going to be calling our phones and threatening us and talking about why we should put them in here. You don't put them in there because of common sense. And I would love to be that guy when they're asking, how come TCU's not in here? I'm like, man, shut up. You know good damn well they can't play with Georgia. That's exactly what I tell them. I said, do you honestly think they can play with Georgia? TCU? I mean, is there some kid you trying to get hurt for some reason? Is your daughter at TCU and one of her ex-boyfriends on that team? Because that's the only reason why you want Georgia to play TCU, so somebody get hurt. Because that's what's going to happen. Dude, it's not even funny. It wouldn't even be fun to watch. It wouldn't even be fun to watch. I agree with you. Tom said that's just murder. And I agree. Dude, they got them little old kids on that team at TCU. Have you seen them? Dude, they got like that. Like, I think all their wide receivers about 5'6".
Hey, look, Cincinnati made it last year.
I know, and got their ass toe up. Exactly my point. Thank you, Travis. And it'll be even worse this year with a damn TCU in there. Because Cincinnati was at least big up front. They had some big kids up front. Now they soft as wet bread, but they had some big kids up front. I'm just telling you. I'm trying to tell y'all, and everybody knows I'm right. Everybody knows I'm right. Y'all, they don't want that. They don't want that smoke. I can tell you that right now. So anyway, folks, we don't have time. I was gonna let Irv clown about Kyrie for a little while, but we'll have to wait that for another day because it's time for us to get out of here. And when we do talk about Kyrie, I need a personal screen, and I need about 10 minutes, Travis, whenever that day comes. So it's gonna take me a minute. I got to talk about Kyrie because ever since he started hanging out with you, Irv, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened to Kyrie ever since. Ever since Kyrie and Irv started hanging out, Travis, I'm not sure what happened to him.
Don't put that on him.
Miss P said, thanks for the reminder, Travis. She was trying to remember what team that was last year. Since when they beat the crap out of Cincinnati. So, all right, Tom, we'll say good night. Folks, it's time for us to get out here. It's 9:02. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll be back again next week. GFL finals are this week, and I will see the Peavy family on Saturday at North Gwinnett High School when we play our first round one playoff game for this season against Tequila. They're not. Oh no, Travis, you're not in Tequila. I don't know why I'm about to say you in Tequila. Good night, everybody. See y'all next week. Appreciate you.
Always.
Travis, appreciate you. Good night, Miss Francis.